Hi, it's Nick here of MedTech World 2025 in Malta. Gordon Wishart from check4Cancer.com. Sitting beside me. You were here with me last year.
I was.
It's been a good year. Tell us about your year.
It's been a really good year. So our core business, screening, diagnostics, and in self-pay, insured, and corporate sectors has gone really well. And then since last year, we've taken forward the skin cancer AI model. We've been doing a lot of work in that to validate it, to show how good it is. So clinical validation studies, and then the bugbear for everybody with medical devices, the regulatory stuff. So we're doing that at the moment in the UK as a medical device. We're doing it with the FDA, and at some point we'll have to tackle Europe as well. But we're still quite a small company, so they're quite big challenges to get that done.
A small company that targets three specific sector or areas, right? The number one, the insured market.
Yep.
Where people, they're providing that as preventative care or as checking for people they think are in the high risk category.
Yeah, in the insured sector, it started out with diagnostics, so offering them a certain level of service that can, really look after their members. And, there's still an element of certain people in the private sector doing unnecessary tests. The US is a great example of that. They spend a fortune on healthcare, but a lot of it is probably unnecessary. So in the UK, I think that's worked really well for us. But insurers are now starting to get interested in prevention. They're not quite sure how to fund it, but they are definitely interested. And so Vitality Health, which is probably the insurer most interested in prevention, uses our cancer risk questionnaire, really to try and assess the risk for future planning, but also to look at helping with screening for
Maybe,
those.
sorry to drop something, maybe the comfort with the insurer um, utilizing your cancer risk screening could affect the outcome for the, I guess, the decision that they make with the person to insure them or not, and at which rate.
Oh, I see.
That information.
Yeah, yeah. So if we work with an insurer and do some risk assessments on their members, then that's between us and the member. We don't share that data. It's a bit like genetic testing. The insurers will not use that to get, at the moment, to give that member a higher premium if they're at higher risk of a particular disease. So I think it works well. I think the problem they have is, if you're going to invest in cancer screening, you might not see the benefit for several years. And by that time, a member has maybe left and gone to a different insurer.
Yeah.
So that's
One
the
that does cover and does provide this exceptional level of service, knowing peace of mind for the individual with what your service provides. I guess across bowel cancer, cervical, skin cancer, as we say, and 4 or 5 different other areas. Right?
That's right. And so obviously in the UK we've got cervical screening, bowel screening, breast screening, but there's still no NHS screening program for prostate cancer. There isn't one for skin. So I think we've tried to cover all the common cancers, and I think you can see big companies now stepping in more and more to protect their employees, to make sure that they stay at work as much as possible. And I think we've seen that with access to online GPs. Cancer screening is still the most sought after employee benefit.
But to protect their human capital,
pretty much worldwide.
Their well-being, yeah.
Yeah, and cancer is still the highest cost globally for all insurers. And so anything they can do to reduce their costs through prevention, in the long run will provide lots of benefits.
And I guess real numbers, you say you're a small company, but it's I see you've got found a route to market or an avenue to approach into Europe with your cancer risk study, right?
Yeah. So my cancer risk is just a way of assessing whether someone's at average or higher risk of up to 6 cancers, and that's useful information. We've just added a lifestyle cancer risk score to it. So that's based on how much exercise you do, if you smoke, alcohol, and your weight, your BMI. And so if someone is at higher risk, we can encourage them to have a more healthy lifestyle, and they can maybe get that risk down. So that's really, what we should all be doing is moving to prevention. And everybody talks about, we need to spend more money on prevention rather than treatment of any disease. But actually,
a lot of prevention isn't capital intensive; it's effort intensive, and it's about not spending.
It's easy to talk about it. It's much harder to do something about it.
Life is carcinogenic.
Yeah, that's true. With 100% mortality.
Gordon, I'm hoping next year when I'm talking to you, we have an equally great year. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Nicholas, signing off from MedTech World.
That's great.